They came from the grave to rock and rave and misbehave. Welcome to I'd Be Suffer.
A fate we should all aspire to.
Their farewell concert is to die for. Seems pretty obvious. You can't keep a good band down. Not great. And in rock we trust.
Oh God.
Yeah. That just sounds like a fucking the name of a
AC/DC album.
Yeah.
I was gonna
exactly.
say like one of those like anti-Bush like compilations that came
No.
out and like
Fuck Tipper Gore and Rock We Trust.
yeah. This is episode, I think 308. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
300 something.
Whatever.
Of I Hope You Suffer.
After 300, it's all vibes.
Yeah, this is episode
guess.
vibes. I am
Across the Rubicon, so to speak.
I'm Robbie as McMahon's. It was apparently somebody from this movie.
Mickey? I don't. All these names are all lackluster.
Chris B. Zombie Hitler.
Oh man, I was going to go for that, but I feel like I should just be Red Ted and Ed.
This week, Chris Matthews is back to talk with us about Hard Rock Zombies from 1984.
Almost exactly a year to the day
Yeah,
since
almost.
my last appearance.
A real fucking banger that Katie would have hated.
Oh God, I was thinking of that like halfway through this. I was like, she would not be having it.
I was telling Kit before you jumped on. I was like, I remember like renting this on like VHS or some shit, like way back in the day, and having like no recollection of it by the time I got the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray and rewatching it and being like, this movie is unhinged. What the fuck is happening? And so like I like as I was watching it, I was like, God, I hope Katie feels better because I need her fucking thoughts on like the entire second half of this movie. But oh well.
Yeah, there's a definite point in this where like it could have just been over.
Well, it's clear that like you could tell. I'm betting the original sort of short idea for it was like they get turned into zombies.
Hitler zombie.
No, I would almost bet none of that shit is in it. It's just like, I don't know, they turn into zombies and then like come back and attack the town. The end.
Yeah, end of discussion.
They're like, well, what can we do in 2 days to turn this into like a full length? And number one, it's endless montages.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly.
And then number two, what if everybody in this was a zombie and Hitler's there for some reason and Ava Braun's a werewolf?
Do all of the random shots of Dancing Zombie Gonna Dance, do those count as montage, or is that just Dancing Zombie scenes?
I think so. I count all of that sort of as montage because it happens so fucking long and all the time after they come back.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
It rocks.
So when you asked me about this yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, Hard Rock Zombies. Like, you said something about Zombie Hitler, and like I kind of remembered, but I was like, yeah, I don't remember. And then I got 5 minutes into this, and I was like, fuck, I watched Slaughterhouse Rock, and I have never seen this before. So this is a like a first time view in literally the past 2 hours.
Hell yeah.
one of the dozens of hard rock zombie demon films that all have hard rock in the title.
That's the first thing that I wanted to ask you guys is like, for a theme that was so prevalent in direct-to-video horror movies of the 80s, why do none of them have any fucking clue what hard rock and or heavy metal sound like? This band is like a Duran Duran knockoff that looks like shittier Kiss if Kiss could somehow be shittier than they already were.
Like, at least Trick or Treat.
Yes.
Like, has, like, because
Trick or Treat rocks. I don't even classify it in with, like, Slaughterhouse Rock and Black Roses and...
Yeah. Like, as soon as,
Shock 'em Dead's got heavier music in it than, like...
when Kit and I like recorded not last week, the week before, and the fucking stupid ass Danzig movie, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I was like, we should just do like heavy metal horror movies until we run out, like, you know, while Katie's not here to make a decision. So, and I was like, I made a list of them, and I was like, yeah, like most of these are. I don't think anybody making these really understands what metal is.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like painful most of the time.
I'm really interested whenever we get to like death metal zombies, because I think that's the same guy that did Deathgasm is the director. Maybe not. Let me see. No, it's not. It's a different guy. Never mind. I don't know who this guy is. So I'm interested to see if it's like actual death metal or if it's going to be like
zombies in corpse paint.
It's just going to be like what regular people think death metal is, which is like Metallica.
Yeah.
They
might have heard a Venom song at one point in time, and they were like, "Oh."
Yeah, they're like, we saw Ace Ventura, so every song is just hammer smash face in the movie. Yeah, so this movie is unhinged, and I love it. What do y'all think? Kit, was this first time watch for you?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like Chris, I also got it confused with some other fucking rock movie, and I went and checked Letterboxd and was like, oh, I haven't reviewed this one. And then Hitler showed up, and I was like, yeah, definitely haven't seen this one.
It's fucking insane that the zombie Hitler is in this movie.
Best reveal of Hitler ever in a film.
He just pulls his face off, like,
oh, rubber mask off.
Like, I was wondering why that guy had a German accent. It's all coming together now.
Like, I forgot when I went to rewatch it this week. And then the minute he showed up, I was like, oh, yeah, that's this movie.
Oh.
Because it's sort of the same thing. Like, the Vinegar Syndrome releases with Slaughterhouse Rock. So I watched both of them back to back.
Yeah.
And so, like, outside of, like, Slaughterhouse Rock, I remember specifically it takes place on, like, Alcatraz. But, like, I couldn't remember what, like, the plot was. So the minute I saw that dude, I was like, oh, yeah, this is the Hitler one. But also,
they missed an opportunity when they made The Rock in the 90s to not like do a remake with like the two movies plots combined somehow. Sean Connery and a rock band on Alcatraz with Nicolas Cage.
Could you imagine
fighting Hitler?
You have to get like Tony Basil back because she's in Slaughterhouse Rock somehow, and like get her and fucking hanging out with Sean Connery and Nick Cage.
I want Nicolas Cage singing Mickey.
I feel like there's probably a video of that somewhere online.
Yeah.
You can find.
Throwing high kicks in like a random karaoke bar in like Macau or something like that.
I've seen that video of him doing that cartwheel on that talk show. I'm sure he's probably done some real high kicks at some point.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Chris, what were your thoughts? First time watch.
I mean, I love everything about this movie. I mean, I hate the band members, but I like the movie as a whole. It's a fucking masterpiece. Like this is the type of shit that I sign up for when I want to watch something random on Tubi. 20 minutes into it, I was immediately thinking of people that I need to show it to as soon as possible. But like, there's also some people I know that like they like movies, but they would hate everything about this.
Yeah, I can see that. Like that's pretty much how I feel. Katie would have been like, I don't know. I guess it was fine, but I hated everything in the second half, I'm assuming. Or she would, like, the minute that fucking Cassie song played, she would be like, I'm done. I'm out. Insane how many mentions of underage girls are in this movie.
Yeah. The first one that popped up, I was like, oh, that's something. And then it just kept happening.
Well, the first one... Which, I didn't take notes, so fuck it, we'll just, like, get into it, talk about it generally. So the first time when it's just, like, the dude is just, like, lets a bunch of, like, women into their dressing room to get, like, pictures of them as, like, a cool party rock and roll band. I'm like, alright, I get it. This, like, it makes sense because this is, like, sleazy 80s Motley Crue bullshit. But then it's, like, the singer falls in love with what I'm assuming is a teenager because you never get an age. But the song he writes for her has a lyric about how you're so young and I don't know what to do. And I was like, holy shit.
Oh.
You leave her alone is what you do.
Yeah, tell me what to do, and it's like, I'm in school, leave me alone.
Yeah, I found it interesting that, like, for the casting, what the hell is the guy's name that plays Jesse? Which I found an interesting anecdote about him online.
Oh yeah, what's that? Because I did not look up anything about him.
So I get like weirdly fixated on things, especially when like it comes to like ages of people when you're dealing with like, possible pedophilia, I guess, in a movie plot. So I was wondering how old Cassie was versus E.J. Curse, the actor that portrayed Jesse. When he made this, he was 24, and I was unable to find out how old Cassie was because there was almost no information about her on the internet.
Yeah, it checks out. I assumed this was like the only thing she's done.
They each like have, I think, like 4 film credits or like 4 total acting credits for each of them. But
how was she in a movie from she was this 1984 and then a TV episode and then another movie in 2022? Insane. Also another zombie movie.
Yeah. I'll send this to you via text message, Nate, so you can see it. But in February of 2023, E.J. Curse was involved in an altercation at a restaurant called I Heart Mac and Cheese in Palm Springs, California. Apparently he got angry about something and started throwing things at the staff.
Oh yeah.
What?
But yeah, he's in a band that was signed to Gene Simmons's record label, which must be a real mark of quality overall. But yeah, they're called Silent Rage. I didn't look up any of their music because I don't really want to fucking hear it.
Yeah,
I assume it's real good.
It's like he's formed the band like the year after this movie, so I'm assuming it's good.
I could stop pretending and actually be a thing.
I tried Googling the actress's age, and I got an obituary about somebody that was born a year after this movie came out, so I don't think this is her.
I only found 2 obituaries for somebody with the same name. I'm baffled by like how they treat her in this movie, because like it's like she doesn't look like she's supposed to be underage. Like she looks like she's probably like 19 when this is filmed. But then every fucking reference is about, hey, just so you know, this girl's like 14. Yeah.
And this clearly 39-year-old, or this dude's probably like 24 when they filmed this, but he looks so old because it's the 80s.
Yeah, that's exactly how old he was. He was 24, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this guy has got to be 36 fucking years old. Like, I think it's that mustache that just makes him look like somebody's dad.
There was just like a thing in the 80s. Like I talk about it on like, especially based on like Saved by the Bell a lot, where like Elizabeth Berkley looks like she's 40 on that show, and she's actually like age appropriate. And it's just the way people dressed and like their hair and all that shit. Like everyone just looks old as fuck in the 80s, and it's so weird. So like it makes the entire like whatever age difference is going on here just so much more vast, because it looks like a teenager dating like Ozzy Osbourne in the 80s or some shit. Yeah, plot of this movie, like really barely a plot, but also so much happens.
It's so fucking lazy while simultaneously bloated.
Yeah, like it's what I remember when I discovered that it was like made. It was originally supposed to be a short. I was like, yeah, this checks out, because like there really isn't a plot, but it's like the entire plot is this band goes to this town for like a fucking showcase for a label, and the town is just, I don't know, run by fucking who turns out to be Hitler still, and like
Red Ted Ned.
They just like are, I don't know, killing rock bands for some reason I don't understand. And you know, they kill the band, and then the band comes back, and like, I don't know, everybody turns into a zombie except for like 4 people who then have to sacrifice a virgin and let the zombies fuck her until they go away for 100 years. So,
what a deal!
Normal.
I like how this is another movie where you get some weird German guy looking for a virgin.
Yeah, and the minute the word virgin came up, I was like, oh my god.
We should do a virgin month.
Katie's 100%
All
out.
virgins.
I wonder if any other. I mean, there's got to be other movies that use that, but I've never heard anyone outside of fucking
Blood for Dracula.
Udo Kier pronounce it like that until this movie. Yeah. So, like we said, music extremely good. I mean, honestly, like the songs are like whatever. They're not good, but they're like catchy as fuck. I'm like surprised based on this movie. Like,
It's one of those movies where it plays like the entire song.
like 4 times.
So like for the first 3/4, I was like, "Oh my fucking god, stop!" And the last minute, I was like, "All right, fine, it's fine."
So I gotta ask, what's everybody's favorite song by the band whose name they barely mention, if at all?
let me see. I got pulled up because mine is like I think that first one they play where they're like it looks like a fucking music video, but it's supposed to be a live concert. I guess I just can't remember what it's called. I'm assuming I'm shocked no one has released the
Soundtrack.
Shake It Out. Is that what it was called?
I think so. Yeah.
Song's a banger.
I have no idea what the song is called, but whenever they're zombies and playing like their first concert, and the only guy in the audience is like the talent scout guy.
That was mine too. I think I'm assuming it's called Street Angel.
Oh yeah,
Just from the lyrics, something about
Yeah.
like I don't know, Street Angel will see you in hell or something like that. I was like, all right, I can deal with this.
Doesn't make any sense, but all right.
Yeah.
I'm also a fan of the fucking weird incantation one that's all Latin, but like according to the IMDb trivia was just like in jokes that were just written backwards in the lyrics, so not actually Latin. Or maybe it wasn't an IMDb trivia, but I read somewhere like that one of the things was like they just like wrote words backwards that were like making fun of people in the cast, and that was like part of the lyrics or some shit.
That it's funny too because like the first time that Jesse's playing that in the van, I made a note about it, and I was just like, if I was stuck in a van on a trip between gigs and the bass player just decided to start playing unaccompanied bass and singing in Latin, I'd tear the side door open and throw them into oncoming traffic. It's like the last thing I would want to listen to is just an unaccompanied bass line in that.
Real bass player energy. Everybody wants to hear this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, like, I don't know if they ever show him play bass in a live performance. Every time they are doing a live performance, he's just singing. Maybe like the last performance, like when they're as zombies, I can't remember. Also,
I think
extremely fucking cool that they could play that song perfectly as zombies.
Yeah,
Right?
I know, right?
Impressive.
Talent.
Must be hard to sing with like necrotic vocal cords.
I wonder if it's just because they were dead for like 10 minutes before they came back.
Yeah, they've got a while before they're totally rotten.
Yeah.
Cassie, if they get me, play this.
I can't get over fucking EJ Curse's headshot where he just looks like Fabio. It's like, I just...
I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah, it's impressive.
Oh.
He was in a Chippendales calendar in 2002, by the way. I found that out also.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's, pretty good that far off from his probably peak time of like the 80s. Yeah.
He's mid-40s by that point in time, so...
All of the music, obviously bangers. Terror Vision, let's get the soundtrack. I know you're probably working on it, but make it faster.
Press it to vinyl.
Oh yeah, I fully expect sometime in like the next 5 years for like Terror Vision Records to release this, because like they've been releasing a bunch of fucking bizarre horror movie soundtracks the last couple of years, and unless there's like some sort of rights issue, I can't imagine there's not somebody doing this. Or
Nobody
this in the
wants.
works.
Nobody owns the rights to this music.
There are no rights; they vanished.
Like, I know there was. I feel like there was like a bonus, like an interview in the bonus features on the Blu-ray, but I did not get time to like revisit it. And I'm sure they'd probably talk about the songs in it, but they're all written by like one person that I don't know. Maybe there was just based on how like fucking deals were back then compared to now. I wonder if there's just like issues where he's just like, nah, fuck it, I don't want to be associated with this movie with like fucking sex crazed zombie Hitler.
And underage relationships.
Yeah, I was only about that in the 80s. Not anymore. That it's now.
Found God.
Now it's a problem. Yeah. So like whenever they get to the town is so goddamn hostile to them that I was like, why are they so fucking upset about the band? And I was like, well, this is some real cop energy, so this makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Did anybody else think that town kind of looked like a combination of like Nilbog and Tromaville?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's got real like trauma vibes.
Nilbog was my first thought. I was like, oh, they found this town again, huh?
Tighten your belts.
Any movie where like you don't get to see any actual buildings except for like the mansion this takes place in, and then like everything else, like you see like the inside of like wherever they have that meeting, but you don't see any other buildings. It's just like weird shots of like an empty parking lot that they park in and shit, where they're like just the fucking montage of like them taking goofy pictures as a cool super fun rock band.
Oh my god, I hated every minute of that.
That outside of the music, where I'm like, all right, it's the 80s, and it's not called like heavy metal zombie, it's called hard rock zombie, so I'm like, I could get past like that this is clearly not hard rock, it's close enough. But then when they portray the band as like these cool fun goofabouts, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Because this photo shoot makes me just assume this is the lamest band on earth. If I saw any band taking a serious like promo shots in that like thing where you just stick your head in and it's just a bigger picture of like them as a band, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That doesn't even look like them though. Like
it's so weird, and it's like like although they all look, well, at least two of them look like they could actually skateboard for real, so props to them.
Yeah, their dollar store Randy Rhoads that's in the band on guitar actually looks like he's like playing most of the stuff, at least along with the recording. So if not, he's doing a real good job of miming it.
Yeah, and like
speaking of miming,
oh god, yeah, I forgot somebody does mime shit in this. Like, I feel like
a bunch of old people at a bus stop.
Anytime they like show somewhat close-ups of them like rocking out, I was like, yeah, they're like, if they're not like we know like, at least like the singer apparently ended up being a real musician of some sort. Like, if all of them aren't, they do a pretty good job of like faking it. Like my fucking biggest pet peeve in life is like, more specifically like air guitar, when people just play air guitar the absolute worst. But like, even when you see like people holding a like, it'll be like you see it on like sitcoms a lot in like the 80s and 90s, where it would just be like some weird overlay of like an insane guitar solo, but they're just like all fucking over the place and it just looks fucking terrible, and it just it drives me crazy. But more
Dragon Sound,
yeah. Except they're good and the best band of all time.
Yes.
Air guitar specifically though, when I see people like play air guitar and it's just that shit where they're like just like right next to their body, I'm like, come on, this looks like garbage, get it right. At least pretend you know how to hold an instrument.
Never seen anyone play guitar before.
Yeah, it drives me crazy, and it's always like, anytime it shows up in like a movie or TV show, it's always shit where like the person playing who has to do it is supposed to be a real musician, and I'm like, at least look at a guitar before you go out and like film this.
Watch a professionally shot music video.
Like, yeah, go watch 30 hours of Yngwie Malmsteen videos. Yeah, when you get to like the fucking, I don't like, not even the middle. Like, I say the climax of this movie happens 25 minutes in, and then there's an hour and 10 minutes left somehow. Once they're killed and come back, I was like, how was there still an hour left?
I'll say Hitler died at like the hour mark, and there was still 30-something minutes left. And I was like, what? Where does it go from here? What?
Yeah, so they get to the town, and then like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Where like, they're playing a show for 5 fucking people.
Front steps of a mansion that's 20 feet away from the street.
Yeah, that like I don't understand what the deal is, and like, and if that's
like
not even the showcase.
They're doing like Relapse Contamination Festival just in a front yard instead of a parking lot.
Like, and they fucking electrocute them, and somehow doesn't kill them. I don't know how the drummer got electrocuted, because I don't know what the fuck he was holding that was electric, but fine.
He's standing on his kit most of the time.
Oh my god!
Supposed to be playing.
Drives me
so
crazy.
Maybe it was like grounded or something like that. I don't know.
Every time they show the drummer, I'm like, why is the dude standing up? This is not Slipknot. What is going on?
The first time they show him, he kicks over half of his fucking set before he starts playing. I was like, well, you're ruined now.
Well, yeah, he's fucking cool, and like he knows
it's a loose cannon.
He knows Dillinger Escape Plan's coming. He's got to like get in there early and start just tearing shit apart in the middle of sets.
Is the drummer the guy with the red vest that looks like he did
Yes.
way too much coke?
He's like, I think him and the singer are the two like dark-haired ones, and I think the 2 guitar players, or a guitar player and a keyboard player, maybe. I forget if someone playing keyboards in the band, or like blonde, something like that. But like, yeah, the drummer's the one that gets killed in the shower.
Like eat shit head first out of the bathtub.
Real lost opportunity for some male nudity in this movie, but oh well.
Oh yeah.
Sad.
Like,
well, I mean, I found it kind of weird that I've been in several bands. I've played a decent amount of shows, and never once have I gotten off stage, immediately gone to the green room, and stripped down to my underwear for no good reason. But that's what these guys do.
Hey, he just got electrocuted. He needed to relax. And, I don't know, take a shower with somebody, I guess. Yeah, it's like they play half of a song before getting electrocuted by this fucking weird cult family that has, like, I'm guessing? Oh no, they were Hitler's grandchildren, one of which is a straight up fucking monster somehow. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Oh, is that Berkeley or whatever? Or
I don't remember either of their names, but he's ends up eating himself by the end of the movie, like completely.
It showed him like at the start, like with no context. I was just like, "What the hell is this? What is happening? Who is this?"
It's. I love that there's no explanation. They're just there.
Yeah, just lumpy-headed dingus. All right, sure.
Showed up by wanting to watch their grandparents fuck. So cool. And then like they play, and then after they like get killed by this fucking family and come back, they play the actual show for like the studio exec, but they're zombies, and the studio exec somehow has a fucking corded like dial phone set up in this venue that he just picks up and is like talking to whoever at the agency. All
Works
that
the job, bro.
Insane.
very important person. They have phones everywhere.
I'm baffled at like whatever the fucking plan was. Which like you find out that like their manager, I guess, is somewhat attached to this family. But like I'm still confused. Like if someone was like, "Hey, we're going to like podunk small town nowhere to play on the steps of this mansion for my family," and then one record executive like the next day, I would have been like, "What the fuck are you talking about? We're not doing that." Have him come to like the Whiskey to see us or fucking whatever.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Why are you our manager?
Yeah, well, first you illegally throw underage women at us
and take photographic evidence.
Like you were clearly not in this for our best interests. Yeah, it's fucking, it's so weird. Like, anytime I like just try to think about like what is the fucking like thought process behind the entire plot of this movie, I'm like, this makes no sense. I don't understand why this band is going to this small town, why anyone thought their photo shoot was going to be cool and a good idea, because it just makes them look like the lamest band on earth. And then it's like, why? I mean, I guess like maybe the idea was supposed to be like they were rehearsing on the steps of this mansion, but it's like, why would you not rehearse in the space you're going to be playing the actual set for? I don't know. It's so weird. I know the entire thing just boils down to like, hey, this will look cool if they're just playing on these steps and we electrocute them, but like the actual like real world logistics of it, I'm like, none of this makes sense. I don't know why any of this is happening. And
I like when they get thrown in jail and the jail is clearly like a horse paddock or something like that.
And Cassie just throws like some petty cash in there as bail. Like,
$37.06. This'll help you.
This was my allowance for 2 years. I hope this helps. Like,
those guys are so skinny too. They could have weaseled their way out of those bars.
Yeah,
like
not
there
with
was a
that hair.
massive space between them.
Fuck up their cool hair.
Yeah, that's true.
The fucking like sheriff of this town or whatever, insane.
With the toothpick.
Absolute insane portrayal. And then like you get like the weird city council thing where they're banning any fucking rock and roll. And then like they're like, all right,
It's all bad.
this is this band, and then like then the guy reads what was in it, and they're like, wait, all of it, even the radio like what is happening? Like why? What is this scene? What is going on?
Followed by this bonkers destruction of like records and tapes and stuff like that, like just in a room. You do that shit outside.
Not even a bonfire. They're just like hitting it with hitting tapes with hammers and shit. Like,
breaking records over a folding chair.
also, clearly 20 people live in this town, so you just banned rock and roll, but like apparently all of you listened to it because there was so many records and tapes. The more I think about it, all of the logistics of this movie make no goddamn sense. I was like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, I could go with this, and then I'm like thinking about it afterwards. I'm like, no, none of this checks out. This is all lies.
It's crazier in retrospect.
No truth in this art. I think the band looks infinitely cooler after they become zombies.
Oh yeah.
They have the blandest like Tom G Warrior makeup on.
I'll say it's like Kiss. They're all just Kiss.
It's like when people try to do Kiss but make it look slightly more cool.
Yeah.
Where it's like that middle ground.
Slightly less
It's
suable.
It's the middle ground between like Kiss and like a Brazilian war metal band's makeup type shit. Where like it kind of looks cool, but like not close enough to corpse paint that it still just comes off like goofy glam metal makeup. But they're the way they walk also pretty cool when there's zombies.
I was gonna ask about that. Are they supposed to be dancing?
Yes. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's just because again, none of it's explained. This dude finds a fucking incantation that he just turns into a song that is like bringing things back to life. Like he kills a spider like 8 times that he just brings back to life. And so when they come back, they do this weird, like almost Thriller-esque, like walk dance thing all the time. It's yeah. Oh my god, the scene where he's just playing the bass. He's not even reciting anything. He's just playing the bass, and things are coming back to life.
Oh god.
Incredible.
Using a boombox in a dirty room as his amplifier.
Hell yeah. It's got again, real black metal band. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. They record every album with a single microphone in the middle of the
Their
room.
fucking Fisher Price microphone. So he like fucking finds some incantation somewhere that reanimates a hand and a spider, and he's like, hell yeah, this is gonna be our next song. Not realizing it's gonna turn them into like weird dancing zombies. Not even dancing, they'd have this like weird strut, and then they just like cross their arms over their fucking chest and then go back to strutting, and it's extremely bizarre.
Call that the Joe Biden.
Hell yeah. No politics. We're above that now. Bad things have happened.
We've ascended.
We got to come together as a unite as a country and support fascism now.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
somebody got their ear cut. Fuck you.
Yeah.
We need better aim in this country. I'm gonna say it. Come at me, FBI. Fuck you.
Country full of fucking gun nuts, and this
My-
is what we get.
Just
Yeah.
side note, my favorite thing up until the shooter was ID'd was every fucking right wing dipshit being like, you know, it was a Democrat because of their aim, and then they were like, never mind, he was actually probably a pretty good shot, and it was all staged. Like, fucking hate it
They
here.
ignore the fact that he was in a BlackRock commercial like 2 times.
Oh, but I saw that earlier, and I was like, yep, checks out. Yeah. So after the band comes back as zombies, they clearly return to kill everyone that turned them into zombies, including Hitler, Werewolf Ava Braun. Again, I will say that again, Werewolf Ava Braun.
Incredible.
Who also meows?
who can turn into a werewolf, like, regardless of what time of day or moon phase it is.
Yeah.
Was
Just at
she
will.
supposed to not have hands? Or was it just really dark? Because there were times where it looked like she had, like, stumps, and then she was holding knives. I was very confused.
I don't think I pay attention to her hands, so I have no idea. I was more just like, why is Ava Braun a werewolf?
Why not?
And then, like, I forget, do they kill... I know they kill, like, the woman that, like, kills the drummer in the shower. Oh, no, yeah, then because they kill the weird sort of bald dude that is just killing chickens throughout the movie for inexplicable reasons other than someone saw, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and was like, this will look weird. And then, like, the 2, like, weird fucked up grandchildren that also have no explanation. One of which is clearly a zombie already. Who then the rest of the movie they cut back to and is just slowly consuming himself until you get to the end when he eats the skin off his own face as just a skull. Which
Amazing.
kind of
Mini
rocks.
anthropophagus.
Yeah. I think Beekler did special effects on this.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
That makes sense.
Checks out. Like, there's not, like, really any gore per se, but, like, at least that scene looks pretty fucking cool. Like, I was kind of into the skull eating its own face.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember any other gore. Like, even the shower scene when dude's getting stabbed, like, 20 times, like, doesn't really have...
Yeah, not terribly bloody.
Like, it's
I feel
clearly...
like they were running on a limited budget.
Like, well, it's, like, clearly it was supposed to be, like, a Psycho fucking ripoff because they do, like, 10,000 cuts in it and shit. And,
Shower curtain getting torn off the hooks.
but, like, there's barely any blood there. And I don't really remember... Yeah, because the singer gets, like, pseudo-crucified on a tree, but there's, like, no blood there either, and you don't even see...
Killed with a weed whacker.
I guess outside of, like, the dude eating his own face, the only other real sort of, like, kind of gore part is, like, the bald dude pulling that fucking spike out of his throat.
Yeah. Hey, Nate, did you watch the Vinegar Syndrome disc of this, right?
Yeah.
Was the quality, like, uniform through the entire thing? Because the version that's on Tubi, every time there's gore, or, like, not even necessarily gore, but, like, violence or anything like that, the film quality drops to, like, sub-VHS quality.
Yeah.
I can't
weird.
remember because, like, the version that's on Tubi, because I watched the version on Tubi this time,
Okay.
is the Vinegar Syndrome version, and more than likely I'm guessing it's probably like it was like originally cut with all the gore out or whatever, and then they re-added it in and just had, like, worse film elements.
That's why I was wondering. I didn't know if, like, maybe there was
I
if there was any improvement on the Blu-ray release.
I don't remember, but I like, because when you get to the end, if you, like, actually go through the credits, the Vinegar Syndrome logo pops up at the end of the one on Tubi, so I'm assuming it's the same way on the disc. But yeah, I don't remember if I even noticed, like, the first time I watched it. I probably just assumed, like, oh yeah, this is just what it looks like. But it's more than likely it's probably just they cut in a bunch of shit that was cut out whenever it was, like, originally released, or, like, maybe, like, the best film element they had was, like, the TV version or some shit, you know?
Yeah. It's just funny because it gives you the feeling when you're watching it that they forgot to shoot a bunch of shit and then just were like, get a consumer grade VHS camera. We'll do the best that we can.
This movie would have been so much better if this was shot on VHS.
Oh my god, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, so they kill the fucking family, and then you have an hour of the movie left, which is just, I don't know, like the fucking all of these zombies fucking wreaking havoc on the town, despite everyone in the town being
a zombie.
Well, but there's like 10 people that were like that are fine because they were at that fucking weird meeting where they're banning rock and roll, and so they're all holed up somewhere. I for some reason I still don't even understand why they're in the fucking movie, but like. Or, like, who these zombies are fucking terrorizing if they're all locked up in this place. And then the band is just, like, doing their fucking showcase for this, like, manager who is the worst. All of his
I love that they
shit.
come back from the dead,
Yeah.
kill a bunch of people, and then immediately get in their van to drive to the next gig. I mean, that's commitment.
Like,
Dedication.
literally, like, it's also, like, I wish one person would have had, like, a fucking Dawn of the Dead explanation for it as to like, oh, that's just what they remember doing, but like there's none of that. They just go play their show and then like shuffle back to their graves until dude shows up and is like, Cassie's in trouble, and then like their hands pop out again.
Yeah.
Also, who buried them again? Like,
True.
like I guess they just did it themselves, but they did a pretty good job from in the ground. So
Yeah. As somebody that has been was in a zombie movie that was in production.
I thought you were going to say
tried-
it's been buried. I'm like,
Well,
damn, all right.
I mean, I was supposed to come out of a grave in this movie, and I was trying to bury myself as much as possible before anybody else was helping me. It's next to impossible. So
no, yeah, I feel like anyone like as a kid has tried to do that shit on like the beach, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like once you get like to like your chest, it's not happening because you can't like you're not gonna be able to like pull your arms in. Yeah, and then I don't know, somebody in the group realizes that if they just let all of these zombies have their way with Cassie, they will disappear for 100 years, and it's someone else's problem. So that's their plan, and it's insane.
Smart.
Insane
the way we deal with
plan.
the environment.
Yeah, just let the environment
Yep.
fuck a
Kick it.
16-year-old, and then
Yeah.
it'll fix itself for 100 years. I mean, essentially, that's what we're doing. So,
Yeah.
it's insane plot point that I was like completely forgot about when I watched it this time, and I was like, what? And they try to, I don't know, again, fucking weird crucify imagery where they put Cassie on this fucking stake essentially, and then all the zombies are coming, but then fucking somehow the hard rock zombies show up doing their cool ass walk and then stop everything.
Yeah. Holy Moses rolls up and chases them off.
I don't even remember how they stop them. I remember they show up and they're playing that weird incantation song. But then, like, I don't remember what happens after that to, like, the rest of the zombies.
Nate, I watched this part of the movie like exactly an hour ago, and I don't remember either. So
Yeah.
you're not alone, bud.
I'm like, did they kill
Not
them?
alone.
Or did, like, everyone just be like, oh, they played the incantation again. Time to go back. Like that fucking, the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror with the zombies where they all just, like, climb back into their graves. Well, I don't know. Somehow they saved the day by playing rock music.
Oh, they used Chekhov's gas chamber. That's what happened.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. I fucking forgot there was a gas chamber in this movie, too.
There's two. Hitler screams about them in fractured German for like a good
Yeah.
solid
Oh
5
my
minutes of the
God.
movie.
His German is so bad. This movie, insane. Hard recommend for me if you
Yeah.
haven't seen
It's
it.
a banger.
Yeah. There are a million worse ways that you could spend an hour and 31-ish minutes, and this is not one of them. So
Like-
get on it.
Like, even that quick plot breakdown and, like, the insane shit we've said, like, barely scratches the surface of how, like, how much, like, weird shit happens in this movie. Like, if, like, I I'm fucking baffled that this is a thing that exists, because it's just like, it's again, like, although, like, it makes more sense when you realize that they like probably had, like, 3 days to, like, make the decisions for it, where they're just like, seems alright, what if we made it a full-length movie all of a sudden? And, used the same Albert Pune style budget of, like, we could make 2 movies with the budget of 1. I believe this toured with American Drive-In, where it played maybe in the middle of the movie, where they played, like, it just played as, like, a section of American Drive-In, if I'm, like, the way I read about it.
Almost like a Kentucky Fried Movie type thing, where there's that, like, short-length Bruce Lee knockoff in the middle of it.
Like, maybe it played separately, but the way I kept seeing it described, it sounded like it played, like, along with it, but, like, as a section in the movie, which I would be so upset. Like, there's, like, a
hour and a half long zombie detour.
There's, like, a meme that has been going around lately that's, like, perfect double feature. You watch, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles until you get to like the one turtle going to see Critters, and then you watch all of Critters, and then you go back to, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when he's leaving the theater, and it just feels like it would be like that. Also, I wonder, I'm gonna find out, I gotta see what this American Drive-In movie's all about, if this is like a because it doesn't, like, based on the poster art, it doesn't seem like it's a horror movie.
Mahoning Drive-In, get on this. Make this a thing.
Let's see, what is this movie about? The goings on at a typical drive-in on a summer night. So this is clearly like a sex comedy. I don't know how this section was supposed to play into it.
Low budget American Graffiti.
Yeah, literally all the top taglines are female buttocks, female nudity, female topless nudity, attempted rape, exploitation.
Jesus.
Great.
Yeah, I can't find anything about, like, wait, let's see.
This
Oh,
Krishna
okay,
Shah guy
okay.
wrote American Drive-In also, right?
I don't think so. I can't tell what the tie-in is besides both of them dealing with rock bands as to why Vinegar Syndrome released them as, like, the same set. Apparently Hard Rock Zombies is the movie they're watching at the drive-in in this movie, that as they were filming scenes for that, they decided was like, hey, this is a good idea. What if we make this a full movie? Like, literally, the film playing at the drive-in, Hard Rock Zombies, was intended to be the only a few minutes of footage to use as the film within a film. The filmmakers were having so much fun making it that they completed it and released it as a standalone movie. And it came out before this.
Well,
which tells
I'm
you...
glad everyone had fun.
I mean, it tells you everything you need to know about... Wait, no, so... Oh, wait, yeah, never mind, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Krishna wrote and directed American Drive-In as well. I was thinking... I don't know why when you asked, I thought Slaughterhouse Rock.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
I kind of want to track this down. I would really love to see this guy's take on, like, an American Drive-In, considering the fact that he's, like, from India.
I wonder if that's streaming. That feels like another one that would be, like, streaming on Tubi if it's, like...
I already searched for it on there, and I didn't see it.
I wonder if this is, like, one of those, like, weird ones, or maybe just, like, film elements are just, like, MIA.
Yeah, you might be able to find, like, a VHS copy of it somewhere if you want to overpay for it.
Apparently, the movie deals with a rape revenge subplot, which... What the fuck is happening in this movie?
Jesus Christ.
Like, the top review on Letterboxd is, producers, hey, we have a perfectly reasonable sex comedy set at a drive-in here. We just need a third act. What can it be? Director, why not add a rape revenge subplot to just fuck my shit up? Producer, say no more.
The German release title for it is Nix aus Sex und Chaos. Which I think translates to Knights of Sex and Chaos.
I'm always baffled by, like, alternate titles for movies where it's, like, another country that just makes no sense when you know the actual plot of the movie. Oh yeah, I don't know. Anybody else get anything else about Hard Rock Zombies?
Rock's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zombies hard too. Katie,
That's the American Drive-In crossover.
I know Katie's probably listening to this, so you have to watch this by next week. Tell us your thoughts, even though I know you're not going to.
It's free. Make it happen.
Yeah. You escaped Danzig. You have to watch Hard Rock Zombies.
I think that's a fair trade-off.
Yeah, you got spared both Danzig movies somehow.
Oh man, she's managed to skip both of them.
Yeah. Well, Veronica was like we didn't really cover. Just Kit and I talked about it for a long time in an episode when it first came out, and so it wasn't ever like a planned thing for us to watch. And then this one was just like, I was like, Katie was like, I'm gonna be out of town. I was like, Kit, we gotta watch Danzig movie.
Now's the time for this to happen.
It was a mistake because it's god awful and boring.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any actual news to talk about outside of like the sick alien popcorn buckets. I need both of.
Saw the Red Band trailer for Romulus yesterday.
That looks so good.
I don't know. Like I'm trying to stay excited for it, but the trailer didn't really do anything for me. But I do like knowing that it's all like practical. I'm like makes me a little more excited. But like, I'll go see it either way. I'm always down for an alien movie, but
I'm keeping my expectations like very low going into it. So if it's great, then I'm going to be blown away, and if it's just okay, I'll still be satisfied with it.
I'll say I like all of them so far. So I don't know. As long as like I'm just hoping it doesn't become like I'm hoping there's more of a plot than just hey, what if some aliens showed up, you know? Like I don't want it to be like a slasher movie where the slasher is just like a xenomorph. Cuz that sort of seemed like what the trailer made it seem like to me. But I don't know. I'm hoping it's good. I like Fede's Evil Dead a lot, so hopefully it's like fucked up and extra gory.
Worst case, you get a cool popcorn bucket out of it.
Yeah, I can fuck a xenomorph head. Just all that wanted.
I'm glad everybody's just leaning into that now. Like, what if we gave people overpriced popcorn and a fleshlight to take home?
I don't see. Like, all this news is dumb as shit. I feel like there was like
no such thing as news anymore.
I feel like there was like something that happened this week in sort of like the horror news world that I was like, I'm gonna bring that up, but I just don't remember now.
Is it Robert Englund getting a star on the Walk of Fame this like coming up?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like someone else.
John Carpenter.
Yeah, John Carpenter. Yeah, that's right. I don't know how John Carpenter hasn't had one yet. That's insane to me. Kit, Terrifier 2 novelization coming.
Ugh. I just saw Terrifier Funko Pops.
Oh, God. What are we doing? They'd be selling in the fucking terrible, bloody, disgusting Walmart section.
Yeah.
Every time I see someone post about that, it's just Terrifier shit, and I'm like, go away. All right. Kit, what'd you watch this week?
Everything I watched this week, I watched yesterday, I think. So I went and saw Longlegs and Maxine. Spent my whole day at a movie theater.
What'd you think about both?
I thought they're both really good. Nick Cage is absolutely fucking demented in Longlegs. That's delightful.
We were gonna try and go see it Saturday, just like ended up being old people and running errands instead, but I want to see it.
Fair. That's good. It's like slow burn weirdo.
It seems like, at least from what I could tell, it seems very Silence of the Lambs, because like I never watched the trailer for it, but then I just like keep seeing people's reactions to it, and I was like, oh, this just kind of seems like Silence of the Lambs with Nick Cage.
Yeah, it's definitely like Satanic Panic 7.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm down with.
I'll watch it whatever comes to streaming probably.
Yeah, it's real good. So there's a couple of real good Nick Cage scenes that are gonna stick with me forever.
What'd you think about Maxine as like a, I guess, trilogy ender, because that's the thing I keep seeing people being like, this is probably the worst of the three.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it, but it's probably my least favorite out of the three. But it's really good. It's super fun. Like,
I keep seeing people talk about like the ending is like pretty bad or whatever.
I thought it was pretty funny. It's just kind of like, well, we're done here, but it made me laugh.
But it's also like I obviously I don't know what the ending is, but it's very funny to hear that, and then like people being like, yeah, it's got like clearly they were like really into like giallo movies or something like this, like clearly taking like inspiration from giallos. That would make a lot of sense if it just sort of just ends.
Yeah, it 100% is. You know, like a bunch of movies have been like, oh, it's giallo inspired over the past however many years, and it's all kind of like, there's just red lights. Like this definitely has a much more giallo vibe and story, and some actual like giallo camera work. Like there's a lot more effort put into it being giallo-y.
It's so funny.
So it does kind of fit. It's an extremely Italian ending.
It's so funny to me that just like blue or red like lighting has become a thing for giallo, and it's literally just Suspiria.
Yeah,
like every giallo I've seen like does not have that shit going on.
Right.
Yeah, I don't recall a moment of that in like Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what you watched lately?
I too saw Long Legs yesterday. It was my birthday movie yesterday. So, I am still making up my mind about how I feel about it. I went in with very, very low expectations because I'm a crotchety bastard and I kind of hate everything that's new most of the time. But I was like sold on the advertising campaign for it, and yeah, there were things about it that I really liked, and then there was other stuff that I'm pretty lukewarm about. So,
that's fair.
Yeah. It's incredible to look at. I love a lot of the tropes that they use as far as specific shots that they repeat numerous times during the movie. The lighting was great in it. I was kind of disappointed by like the typically Hollywood like, I don't know, uneducated presentation of the occult, and then like everything involving that in the plot, like it. I don't know. I felt like it required some logical jumps that I wasn't willing to make for it. I don't know, but it's worth seeing. I'm not saying that like people shouldn't see it or anything like that, but I just I didn't get from it what I was expecting to. But whatever, it's a fine film.
You mean it wasn't the scariest movie of the decade? Like every fucking.
I want to find whoever wrote that like one-line review and have a conversation with them.
I hate that's like my biggest thing that like makes me hate every fucking new horror movie is like everything is always like the scariest movie since The Exorcist, and I'm like, no, it's not. You're making like these lofty fucking expectations for these movies that is never gonna hit.
Yeah. I felt like I saw a whole other movie because we sat through like 35 fucking minutes of previews ahead of time.
Oh my god!
Which reminds me of why I hate going to the movie theater now.
Were they even like trailers that like relate like at all to like the kind of movie it was, or is it just like
better than they were at the last one that I went to? But I still saw 2 trailers for the Wolverine and Deadpool movie, which I'm kind of already over at this point in time.
Not me. I can't.
It's never ending. It's never ending.
I'm so in.
I mean, I'm going to watch it, but I feel like I'm being constantly beaten about the head and shoulders with it everywhere I go.
I guess
the ad campaign for it is like it's like the new Quiet Place, where it's just like y'all have been advertising this for 2 years now. Please,
Yeah, that's
please just release it.
one of my
Yeah.
biggest things. Like with like they just released like a fucking teaser for like the next Captain America movie that doesn't come out till February.
February,
of next year.
right?
I'm just like, all right, fine. But like now I know. Like, so I guess like the difference for me though is like I don't watch trailers. So like unless I'm like go to a movie that they force me to like sit through trailers, I don't ever watch trailers anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
maybe if like you know, like Alien Romulus, I watched that first teaser and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see it anyway. I don't want to see anything else from this, right? And like I'll do that with like Marvel stuff too. So like I watched the first Deadpool Wolverine trailer they dropped. I'm not gonna watch anything after that. So like I'm not getting like inundated like most people are. So it doesn't like really I guess bother me as much because I just actively don't watch them. But yeah, I don't know. I also understand that I'm like, yeah, you don't need to start fucking promoting your movie 12 or 11 months in advance or fucking whatever. Like, just like drop your teaser trailer, drop like a maybe a real trailer a couple months after that, and then like, you know, spend
Release the goddamn movie.
two months or something before heavily fucking promoting it like it used to be, instead of like, hey, what if we just like drag this shit out for a fucking year to the point that like everything's been reshot that was in the original trailer.
Yeah. Aside from seeing Longlegs, the only other things that I've watched recently are I rewatched Mr. Majestic and 12 to Midnight, the Charles Bronson movies. Both fucking rule. And aside from that, I've just been watching a lot of old WCW.
Hell yeah.
Because I have Peacock and I have access to like, I don't know, 2 decades worth of WCW Saturday night. And my favorite thing to do is look up to see how old all these people are who all look like 60-year-old men and find out that they're 26.
Yeah. Ric Flair, who was endlessly until the last decade, like always looked 70 to me until he got like legitimately real old.
Yeah, he's somehow like only 45 when he was wrestling in WCW, even though he looked 60.
Now he looks like he died like 25 years ago.
Looks like
we need to
goddamn
stop
corpse.
giving weed to elderly people.
I don't remember if we talked about it. Kid, did you see any of like the Twitter drama with him in the pizza restaurant like a little bit ago?
No.
I guess he went to like this pizza place in maybe Florida.
He lives in Florida, yeah.
I
And
think-
he's turned into like a menace in the community, basically.
Yeah. And like he goes and is like, you know, doing his Ric Flair thing where he goes in, he's making a spectacle of himself. And like
Right.
taking pictures with
Gotta have
everybody.
attention.
And like then lost his goddamn mind and flipped out, and I think maybe had to have the police called on him and was like thrown out because he got so mad that he had to wait to use the restroom because like one of the people that worked there was in it, and caused like a fucking massive scene where I think like it just like blew up on Twitter for a minute. I heard about it on like one podcast I was listening to. For some reason they got on this weird Ric Flair tangent like the day it happened, and I was like, that checks out.
Yeah, that 100% makes sense.
Imagine you're just eating pizza and Ric Flair's there just fucking losing his goddamn mind 'cause he
Screaming.
can't take a shit like immediately.
Wooing at servers.
Just fucking chopping some dude in the chest because he can't get into the restroom.
Pizza eaten, employee beaten, high flying, limousine riding.
I think he tweeted or something about it where he was like, I support this pizza place all the time and they're gonna treat me like this, and like the owner had to be like, he was just pissed that like somebody was using the restroom while he needed to be in there. Like, and it was like an
And then acted
employee.
in the most belligerent fashion possible.
Fucking every wrestler from like every person that was like a wrestler pre-2000 is the most insane person alive now.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things I've discovered in these old WCW episodes is the fact that there was a short-lived Hulk Hogan pasta restaurant called Pasta
Oh
Mania
yeah.
that I was completely unaware of, and now it's my favorite thing.
There's like a segment I remember from that's supposed to be kind of like a press conference that's insane to watch. Like, probably you may have seen it. I'm sure it aired on like WCW at the time, and like all I remember is like, I think he has like a fucking Chef Boyardee hat on in it. Like
I need to see this as soon as humanly possible.
I remember that. Like, I remember seeing that in, like, the fucking 80s, I think, or whatever. I was like, God, I watched so much wrestling as a kid. That was, like, all I did Saturdays when it would, like, air and shit. It was, like, so, like, just base my fucking childhood week on, like, fuck school, wrestling's coming. Back in the fucking glory days of Ultimate Warrior, no selling everything.
Oh my God.
Fucking getting winded running down to the ring and then having to wrestle without being able to breathe.
The unhinged promos are definitely the best thing.
Oh, man.
Like, just screaming nonsense.
It was my absolute favorite wrestler until, like, I got a little older and realized Undertaker was the best wrestler when you take his fucking world beliefs out of it.
I remember when I was in like high school, early 20s, I would just like keep a blank VHS tape in my VCR in my room to just record random shit I found that was funny. And I remember for a while I had a tape that had had the Ultimate Warrior after Jim Hellwig had legally changed his name to just Warrior.
Just Warrior.
In a suit, looking very sweaty and very red. It was on C-SPAN, and he was telling a bunch of college students in like very long-winded terms, basically that we should kill poor people because they're poor. And I was like, yeah. I am so glad that I have this on tape.
He used to make these absolutely unhinged like videos for his website where it would just be him in like a cloak, and he would just like rant about how much he hated gay people or fucking whatever dumbass Republican shit it was he was yelling about at the time. And I was like, this checks out. Everybody from this generation has so much CTE.
Yeah, all brain damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking dive into like the last year of WCW on there. I want to watch this shit when like RoboCop shows up, or like when the Misfits were on it.
Oh my God!
Oh man,
fucking peak time. I really want to watch that fucking Vice documentary, that like what happened to WCW.
I watched the first episode of it. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I fucking love Dark Side of the Ring, so
it's great.
I keep forgetting that was a thing, and then every once in a while it'll like pop up on like Instagram. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta watch that, and I just forget.
It's one of those things where, you know, the show's titled "Who Killed WCW," and it's like literally every fucking person involved in this. All of you killed it. It was y'all.
Every clip I see is just people being like, well, clearly it was Goldberg.
Yes.
or like, or just, it's like
Kevin Nash, like, I don't know, couldn't have been me.
Couldn't have been me making all of the executive decisions based on how much money I wanted to make.
It's just a room full of all of them pointing at one another, like that Spider-Man meme.
I am just I only want to watch documentaries where it's just Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo arguing with each other, or like Vince Russo and fucking Jim Cornette, the two worst people on earth.
Oh my God!
Talking about how much they hate each other.
I do love listening to Jim Cornette scream about Vince Russo.
Oh, it's like Kid and I have talked about it on here when Dark Side first started airing, where I was like, man, I hate him so much, but he's like right 90% of the time on these about things, but like I love how much he fucking hates Vince Russo. Because Vince Russo seems like the most unlikable person on earth. If I have to hear him say bro one more goddamn time,
anyone who says bra that often,
I constantly see like headlines on like wrestling Instagram where it'll be like former like wrestling person like claims
wrestling
this
legend,
and then it'll have a quote and it'll
click
like,
on it, it's Vince Russo.
Well,
like, fuck off.
It'll always have a quote and it'll like bro blah blah blah. I'm like, yep, I don't even have to read this to know who that was. Oh man, what a glorious time to be a wrestling fan that was.
I love whenever a website's like, oh, former WWE legend said this, and then it's like, it's Vince Russo, or it's the hella racist guy that managed Jack Swagger when he was in WWE.
Oh,
I just remember
Dutch Mantel.
Yeah, Dutch Mantel.
I just remember it was like
complaining about fucking illegal immigrants crossing the border or whatever. Like, oh my God.
Sid Vicious screaming about softball for some reason.
Yeah.
God,
That one would
That's
be
like one of my
fine.
favorite stories. That like he literally quit because he would rather play softball one afternoon.
good for him. All right, let's see. What the fuck did I watch this week? I watched 1993's Burglar from Hell, which is an SOV movie about a burglar who gets killed by an old lady and comes back and just harasses people. It's fine. I don't know. I always buy like the shit Saturn Core releases because they just release all of these like insane SOV movies, and they're always pretty terrible, but I keep buying them. Well, like they release a lot of like the Wave production stuff, where like
I gotta get into that.
no, you don't. Like Wave Productions, like the documentary about Wave they released is pretty good, but it's like the actual movies because they were a production company and they would literally like
Shoot anything, right?
yeah, you could send them your script and they would make your movie for you. Like they were essentially like I think they started as a regular just making their own movies and then they proceeded to become like hey, you have a movie idea, we'll make it for like this amount of money. And so like it becomes essentially like weird fetish porn kind of shit at some point. But like none of
The
it's
logical
good.
end.
It's some of it's like interesting to watch, but I wouldn't say any of it is like essential from what I've seen so far.
All right.
I watched 1981's Babe, which was like a hardcore movie, Vinegar Syndrome release that was fine. I watched so Caitlin started watching this Outstanding, a Comedy Revolution on Netflix, and I caught like I don't know, but like I think I missed like the first 15 minutes, which is just this documentary about like queer stand-up comedy that was pretty fun. Patty Harrison's in it, and like she talks about like Joel Kim Booster getting like a Netflix special, and she's like, "Where's my Netflix special?" And starts like fake crying, and she's like, "It's just because he has abs and I'm pregnant." And I was like, I fucking love Patty Harrison so much. And then I like watching that. There's a comedian named James Adomian that like is on Comedy Bang Bang all the time.
He's so good.
Oh my god! So he on Comedy Bang Bang he does Jesse Ventura, and it's the most spot on
Coming
Jesse.
full circle.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura impression I've ever heard. He's so funny, but I never like outside of Comedy Bang Bang I was like unfamiliar with him and didn't realize he was gay, and so I was like looking up his like filmography, and realized that he was part of this. Somebody put together it's called Our Frasier Remake, which is a remake of like the season 1 finale of Frasier, all animated, where every like 30 seconds like it's a different animator, so the animation style changes differently. But it's just a straight up remake where James Adomian does the voice of Niles in it. So I watched that, and it's extremely fucking weird, but really good. I watched King Kong Lives on Shout TV at work, which is terrible. Somehow Shout TV just got put on at work, so now every night, like, either Mystery Science Theater 3000 is on, or like Sharkansas Women's Prison Massacre was on the other night. I was like, this rocks. And I think the only other thing I watched is Origin Story from 2018, which is this documentary Kulap Vilaysack made about trying to figure out who her real dad is. That's really fucking good. She's like a comedian. She's married to Scott Aukerman from like Comedy Bang Bang and stuff, and like, oh, this is like really interesting documentary where she like at like age, I don't know, 13, her mom like accidentally blurts out the like she's like her mom and like stepdad are having a fight, and like she's sticking up for her stepdad, and her mom's just like, I don't even know why you care, you guys aren't even fucking related. And it's like this massive traumatic incident in her life that just like she could not ever get over, and like makes this documentary where she's like goes about trying to find her dad, and it's like really heartbreaking but like really well made, and I don't know, I really liked it. Other than that, I've been rewatching Hotel Hell because I do not want to live in the real world. I want to live in Gordon Ramsay reality for a little bit. Because all everyone knows, real world, not doing great.
Yeah. real bad storyline.
I need to just watch Gordon Ramsay go in and yell at people because they don't know what they're doing in a kitchen.
I went through a kitchen nightmares phase a few months ago, and it was cathartic.
Well, so Katie like randomly, I think, turned on like Pluto TV or something, and like somehow got sucked into Kitchen Nightmares for the first time. And so she's been texting me about it as she's like binge watching through Kitchen Nightmares, because I've seen all of that show like so many times. I had like a year where Kitchen Nightmares and Cutthroat Kitchen were like the two just background noise shows I had on like all year. And so I've seen like all of Kitchen Nightmares so many times. So she'd be like, "Oh, I'm like watching this episode." We text about it, and I was like, "I'm gonna like rewatch Hotel Hell," because I just like, we hit a point in like our Survivor watch where I was like, we need a break. And so I just like put that on one day.
80 seasons short.
Oh my god, we're about to start the season where like they started off separated by race, and we were like, let's take a break before we just dive into this. But there's an episode of Hotel Hell we watched last night where like it's this old hippie woman who just like opened an Airbnb essentially. And, like, you know, like a small, like, Rhode Island town or some shit where it's, like, the actual building is, like, gorgeous. And then you get inside and it's just been, like, run to shit. But, like, she's a hoarder. So every room, every closet of every room and every, like, cabinet and shit in there is just full of her shit. Like, he goes into the kitchen to figure out what the fuck's going on with, like, why all the food is so bad. And they are, like, buying grocery store rotisserie chickens and freezing them for like 6 months to use, which is like insane. Like, I don't know whose idea was like, well, they're already cooking these rotisserie chickens, what if we freeze them up to 6 months before we use them? Just the grossest shit. And is living in the hotel. So at some point there was a hole in one of the walls that they just filled with like a scarf and covered with like paper as to just a way to fill the hole so that like rats couldn't get in from the inside. Good shit. Don't stay in hotels. They're all gross. That's my takeaway. All right, Kit, what do you want to shout out?
Ugh.
The world doing good. Kit, shout out.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Fuck, I had something an hour ago.
Say Terrifier 2 novelization.
No. I'm going to shout out me, because I beat the last boss in the Elden Ring DLC today. So, go me. That guy's a fucking asshole. I hate him.
Kit or the boss?
Both.
Kit is the boss. What about you, Chris?
Fight yourself. I was fucked up. Final boss.
Is that what it is? You fight yourself?
No, I wish.
I guess the two things I'll shout out are early 90s WCW, because it's keeping me sane lately. And
yeah.
Because the world sucks. And aside from that, I randomly decided to start playing Hotline Miami 1 and 2. I know I'm over a decade out of the loop, but I haven't been a gamer for a while, and
makes you feel better. I don't even know what the fuck that is. So
sick as fuck.
Yeah. I played through the first one like in the course of an afternoon and was like, I'm gonna wait a little while to buy the second one, and then 15 minutes later bought it off of Steam. So, but yeah, poor impulse control, but a good time. So yeah.
I guess my shout out, I started listening to Cult and Culture podcast, which is hosted by Justin Pearson from The Locust and 30 other bands. It's pretty good. Just I was doing an episode last night from like I forget the guy's name, but he was like the bass player for the Mars Volta for a little bit. And they talk about for a long time when the Mars Volta opened up for the Red Hot Chili Peppers for like a tour, and how like insane it was, because like I can't imagine a group of people worse to try to like play to than Red Hot Chili Peppers fans as like a prog band. And then he talks about like at one show they came out and it's like just we're like fuck this crowd, and like played a 40-minute jam with no vocals, and Cedric just walked around the arena and drank people's beers out of their hands and shit.
That's awesome.
I was like, hell yeah, that rocks. It was really fucking interesting interview, because there's this dude who like, he was the bass player for them, but then he was like, I guess he does like bass for like all of these like insane like hip hop acts. Like I think he's like in with like Dan the Automator, and like was on like a couple Dr. Octagon records, and just like, I don't know, had like all of these like insane stories. But all the Mars Volta shit was like really fucking funny, because he would just talk about how like, yeah, we'd be playing a fest and all of a sudden there's like fucking James Hetfield watching us, or like MIA's on the side stage, and it was like very fucking weird coming from like this weird band that like really no one should have latched onto, because they're like the weirdest goddamn music. I don't know how we got any sort of mainstream appeal, but I came from playing in like really shitty 80s like hair metal bands to all of a sudden I'm in like this like fucking mega rock star band. Like, really interesting, fun podcast though. Just listening, I like something about like listening to a lifelong like, you know, quote unquote punk musician interview other dudes that are just like lifelong in that scene is I always find kind of like fascinating. Like there's one of the episodes I think I've coming up I'm gonna listen to tonight is like him interviewing Travis Ryan from Cattle Decapitation, that I'm interested to hear, because that dude's always got insane takes on shit.
Certainly does.
Alright. Let's see. I'm pulling my letterbox list and make a decision of what we're going to watch next week, Kit. I think Katie might be gone next week, too. I forget. I think she leaves next Wednesday, so I guess it depends on when we could record, but let's get to
We'll roll the dice and we can decide.
Get to the bottom of this fucking stupid long-ass list. We've watched too many goddamn movies on this podcast. God damn, come on. Alright, so let's see. We got Slaughterhouse Rock, Black Roses, Rocktober Blood, Rock and Roll Nightmares, already picked by Shane, so whatever we get for that. Hard Rock Nightmare, Scream Dream, Death Metal Zombies, or Ghoul School.
I don't think I've seen Scream Dream or Ghoul School, but I'm also very interested in Death Metal Zombies, because I feel like I've seen it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, let's do Death Metal Zombies. That's on Tubi right now.
Sweet.
And wait, it's never mind. I saw the song Zombified in the bio, and I was like, wait, is this gonna have a real death metal in it? So we'll see.
It has Amorphous on the soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could never go wrong with director, writer, and actor all being the same person. So
No. Triple threat.
And this will be a real bummer for Katie coming back if she's here next week. Alright, yeah, Death Metal Zombies on Tubi next week. I got high hopes. It's gonna be good, but probably not.
Banger after banger after banger.
Yeah. Alright, Chris, you got anything you want to promote? Anything like that?
No. Just
WCW.
I don't know. Yeah, just WCW again. No, I mean, on a kind of serious note, like, the world sucks right now, and just try to, check in on your friends and stuff like that. I'm trying to make it a point to do like weekly mental health check-ins with like my close friends, because I know a lot of people have a tendency to internalize things and all, and like sometimes they just need a little bit of prompting to, get some shit off their chest. So just look out for your friends and family. That's all.
Yeah, I was saying, coming up soon. Your community is about the only thing that's going to be helpful, because
Yep.
this shit's going to be bleak.
Yeah. Focus on the people around you in your community and be kind. Do good.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Or just hole up in your house like I do and go to work. And
Yeah.
Just be
Go to a gun range.
mad a lot.
Learn how to aim.
Yeah.
Whatever.
My favorite tweet I saw was like, God, I can't think of his fucking name offhand, but it's like at Prague Pro.
Oh
When
yeah,
he just
Mike.
tweeted, you know, right now someone out there is wearing that municipal waste shirt and has no idea what's going on.
That's pretty good.
All right, if you would like to support us, you could join our Patreon at patreon.com/IPSufferPodcast. At some point, we'll have a fucking bonus episode this month. The fucking nightmare for scheduling is Katie's gone for like most of it. I gotta get fucking stupid broken tooth fixed. So, we'll see. Something will happen eventually.
Someday.
Give me money.
Keep hope
so I
alive.
can get my stupid, expensive teeth fixed. That's my shout out. Give me money. You
Shout
can
out teeth that don't break.
Yeah. It's fucking dumbass,
You don't have
useless
the right
bones that can't even fucking hold up to some food.
Right? Weak.
It had one purpose.
Give me money
Yeah.
so I could get fucking metal jaws like the dude from James Bond installed. Oh, that would sound so fucking terrible recording. Just clanging every time I talk.
Get too close to the mic, you get electrocuted.
Yeah, if you want to give me money to get my live stream of getting jaws put in so I can look cool, just I Hope You Suffer Podcast, or patreon.com/I Hope You Suffer Podcast. You can leave us a rating and review on iTunes and Spotify and fucking whatever. You can follow us on Instagram at I Hope You Suffer Podcast. You can follow Kit at Hidden Kitstery and Kitrification of Blood. And Stu Blood Incantation album coming, so I'm assuming there will be a new Instagram account soon with a Blood Incantation title.
Yeah. I know the song title names. I don't know if I can change them. Fit my name in there.
We'll see if we can get Katie to make one. I'll have to look at the song titles. You can follow Katie at WerewolfFace. Join Katie's Patreon at patreon.com/WerewolfFace. If you listen to other podcasts, AK Movie Club. Chris, thanks for coming on like less than 24-hour notice.
Hey, thanks
Yeah,
for
thank
having
you.
me. This is good.
I was like, Chris, we're gonna do heavy metal horror movies for a while. What are your days off? And he was like, well, I'm off like these days, including Mondays. And I was like, well, guess what we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah, anytime. So this is always a fun experience.
We're gonna make you watch something real dog shit next time.
Yes.
June Exploitation was fun, and this is pretty fun. So I'm gonna find like some real Ant Farm Dickhole style movie.
I can find something bad.
Eventually, we'll get to Dick Shark if Kit and I can stomach 2 hours of that fucking movie.
Ugh.
All right, Death Metal Zombies next week.
Yeah.
Just pray for Katie, because she's not gonna have fun with that. I'm assuming. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna have fun
Disagree.
either. But at least there'll be some probably good songs in it. All right, I hope you love Cassie, but why?
Yeah, for real. Why?
You're old, damn it.
Yeah.